Not exactly hidden. Things are a bit more awkward for the last couple of hours of their trip, and they feel the shuttle stop twice before they get another knock. Morg opens the door to see the answers, and he immediately closes it afterwards. A little harsh. A little entitled to think that just because I can stick something in them that I should, Morg remarks. Yes, well, I suppose. I never really saw it. I know. Goddess says men have one thing they can do that no woman can and therefore must. Guess that just sucks for me. Morg grumps before shifting in his chair. I get it. I do. People want families. People want love. It works best when there's a bunch of women and a man. I could probably make a lot of people happy if I play along. That is about right. The very idea fills me with more dread than staring down an entire hall of pissed-off battle princesses. I'm not ready, and I might never be ready to be a father or husband, and the more people try to force it, the less I want it, and I already don't want it. Oh, Maji Kemka says, and he sighs before taking a good long look at her. Don't take it the wrong way, though. This is just my issue, nothing more. Me, no one, and nothing else. The system generally works, but I'm not a general person, Morg Arkun states before thinking. How long until the humans get tired of this system? Will they get tired of it? From what he can tell, the standard situation in the galaxy looks like winning well and truly beyond anything imaginable to their instincts. Do you grow tired of something if your instincts keep telling you that something is wonderful beyond compare? It'll be interesting to see at any rate. The ship moves up and off again, and they land at Airship Falls. There's time with the disembarking, and Morg has his senses open further to the axiom and sees the ancestors outside their door for a moment before moving on. Thank goodness. I've seen you at parties, Majikemka begins. You always do the same sort of thing. Always walk away and move faster when people start to match it. Do you really hate it that much? Yes, Morg says as he gets a flash of frustration. His family was nearly shattered so that some woman could get what she wanted, the idea of just letting someone get what they wanted. He can't help the sour look on his face. It's not entirely rational, but it's his life. If he wants to pass through it without children or a family, it's his choice, isn't it? There's a slight amount of uncertainty there. Yes, it's natural to want children, but, well, he's not going to be a good father, and he's not going to put any child through that. There's a sensation from the woods that's trying to be reassuring, but it just feels hollow. He puts it from his mind as the last passengers depart and the ship takes off again. It takes only a few minutes for it to slow and stop again. All right, you two, we're at the spaceport. Hopefully this smokes your trail enough to get some peace, the captain's voice says over the PA. So please, grab your bags and depart out the nearest gateway. Time to move then, Morg says, rising up and cracking his neck even as Magi does the same while stifling a yawn. I've got a general idea of where to go. It'll be the off-season too, so we're not going to have a hard time finding a room to rent. I thought you were the sleep outside type. You know, sorcerers so tough they don't need civilization? I didn't bring a tent, he replies. Why would you need a tent? Magi asks. We're heading to the southern hemisphere instead of my normal plan of the northwesterly part of the world. It's the rain season in the southern hemisphere, and really bad in the area we're heading to. This causes a lot of mushrooms to grow in the area. These stone shrooms are particularly well known for being nearly as easy to carve as clay in a live state, and then, when cut off from the roots, they harden to be not only as hard as stone, but capable of surviving quite a few blows. It makes beautiful artwork when properly stained. But right now, wet season, growing season. Oh, how lovely. Magi trails off. There are easy ways to keep off the water with axiom. I was never taught any. She replies, and he pauses and thinks. That's fine. I can show you, he says as he hefts his bag onto his back and she tucks hers under her arm. They both slip out of their room, and the same gateway that led them into the shuttle is glowing again, and they can see another room beyond. They go from carpeting to hard metal tiles as they step out into the space station, and Morg looks around. "Excuse me?" someone asks, and there's an IKEA Moss woman is there. "The captain asked that I show you two to the portal chamber." "Sounds great. He wants to go where it's wet and raining. Does this planet really have a raining season?" "We're going to Haloric Ridge," Morg clarifies. "Last I checked it was pouring there," she says, and Magi Kemka groans. "It's just to get onto the planet. There are ways to get around. Besides, there is beauty in the rain," Morg Arkun states, and she looks doubtful. "But, I mean, do you know how long it takes for this hair to get dry?" "No, I don't. Besides, you're an Apuk. Breath fire on yourself and dry off." Morg Arkin dismisses, and Magi gasps as if scandalized. "But that's not, I mean, you shouldn't. It splits the ends of your hair and makes you frizz up." Magi Kemka protests, and he just sighs. "Those are just rumors. It's no better and no worse than drying it off any other way," Morg Arkun states before smiling. "Now come on, let's not let our guide escape. I'm not going to just vanish on you two," the crew member says and then chuckles. "Not that you can get lost here. Walls, ceiling, and floor, there are signs everywhere for everywhere once you're in the hallways." True enough, the utilitarian hallway has all sorts of signs along it and numerous lines painted onto the floor with a word on them repeated every few paces. The one that leads to the portal chamber is pale green and stands out starkly against its black backdrop. Anyways, we get people like you fairly often. Captain says it's once every few years, but it's actually about twice a year. It's just most people trying to dodge pursuit are a little more subtle than outright demanding to see the captain, the crew member states as she shows them around a few bends and then to a large chamber. There are a pair of security guards that beckon them to the side and look down at them in seeming surprise. Morg steps up to the power armor-bedecked canidors, and there's a slight chuff of amusement. "So, are you the runners the good captain told us about?" Morg Arkun and Magi Kemka. Love the name, by the way, little girl. Makes you sound like a real fanatic for stories where the man gets his shirt ripped off, she says. "I'm the one that gave her the ID. Kemka is a very common name in parts of Serbo." Morg Arkin states, and the mass of muscle, armor, weapons, and lethal ability kneels down to his level before several plates shift on the helmet, and it shifts to either side to form a high collar as she tries to stare right into the soul of Morg Arkun. Her gaze meets far more than just Morg Arkun staring back unflinchingly. It meets something with grasping branches and crushing roots, full of nighttime howls and the shifting of leaves. "Well, aren't we a scary one?" the guardswoman asks with a coy smile. She chuckles as she rises up. "Yeah, if I try something you're going to bite, and not in the fun way either. Definitely a sorcerer. If you are being hunted, then I pity whoever finds you. They won't scream for long," Morg Arkun states as he scans the room. One of the portals is LL Haloric Ridge, and he nods. "Why do I keep meeting the good ones when I'm on the job?" the guardswoman complains as Morg leads the way into the portal and steps through. Magi follows behind him quickly, and he throws a salute back into the room before walking off. "You didn't have a problem with them," Magi Kemka notes. "That was different." "Different how?" "They weren't outright propositioning me. They were being playful, not aggressive about it. They were being outright aggressive, and you took it as playful. It's a sort of challenge thing. It's hard to explain. It was seeing who would flinch first, and when it was proven neither would flinch at all, the test was off." He answers as he puts up his hand, and there's a sort of flicker around him as the axiom swells. "Now, did you see what I just did?" "Sort of. That's how you take care of rain. Just don't step into big slides of mud or puddles, and this will be all you need," Morg Arkun tells her, and she holds up her hand and pulls at the axiom. It takes a few tries until she gets the pattern right, and she has a large half-dome of hardened air protecting her too. They leave the ground-side port and step out into the pouring rain. The strange sense of stillness, despite the curtains of falling water, overtakes them both, and Morg Arkin can't help but smile as he takes a deep breath of the earthy scent washing over him. There's a hint of something musty yet truly alive in the distance, and he nods to himself. Excellent. Let's get ourselves a place to stay for the night, and I'll see if any of Clippings and Cuttings take. She watches as her targets pop out unexpectedly and smiles before cueing her communicator. Hey team, they're here. Are you sure about that? One of the team heavies asks. Yes, Brenda, I'm looking right at them. I told you they'd try to fake people out, if they didn't just hang around in that port and buy a ticket somewhere else. But there was no way they'd be going to any of the 3 original destinations. Away from his precious woods or not, a sorcerer isn't stupid. All right, Nami, you stay with them and do not engage. Stealth is more important, and let us know if they do anything stupid. They're out of position, and we need to be smart about this. Remember, no pay without the girl and none if she's harmed. But the guy is a belligerent and will try to teleport her even if he can't call on an entire landmass to help him. So we need to separate them, and we need to get her as quickly as possible. Kinda weird that we're extracting the girl, and not the guy, Brenda notes. Believe me, I know. But we're getting 10 Axiom Ride ingots. Ingot's girl. We need to jump on this before other teams figure them out. I think it may be a little late for that boss lady, Nami says as she sees a figure she swore was a damn roof decoration twist to watch Morg Arkin and Magi Kemka walk down the street. I'm seeing other observers here. Shit. Damn it, our planning time just went down to nothing. Nami, name us a place we can gather nearby and we'll slam something together. On it. The Thirsty Queen bar will do. I'm gonna stick with the targets in sight. Good girl. Now everyone move. I want the whole team in the bar in less than an hour. The boss orders, and the half-dozen girls on the team snap out confirmations. 7 different groups. What to do? Morg Arkin asks himself, as well as the whole of the woods and the men within it. Get into some place mildly private. We'll see if we can or can't teleport to you. If yes, then we'll act as distraction as you guys run. They'll be expecting 1 sorcerer and a runaway noble girl, not an army of sorcerers armed and ready. Koga answers through the link. And if that doesn't work, what then? We can still help. Knowledge is power, and there are ways for simple tricks to baffle even the most advanced technology. Koga assures him, and Morgarkun also gets the sensation of a lot of movements. Armor, weapons, and more is being prepared. He can't help but grin. The humans are confusing as hell at times, but damn good to have on his side.